Learn English through stories, C25 PDF. Adopted and modified by Kulwant Singh Sandhu. Contents 1. White Fang by Jack London. Chaps 1 and 2. 2. The future tense. 3. Picture dictionary page. 1. White Fang. Chapter 1. The Gray Cub. The two wolves moved slowly down the Mackenzie River. Often they left it and looked for food by the smaller rivers, but they always went back to the large river. The she-wolf looked everywhere for a home, and then one day she found it. It was a cave near a small river. She looked inside it very carefully. It was warm and dry, so she lay down. The he-wolf was hungry. He lay down inside the cave, but he did not sleep well. He could hear the sound of water, and he could see the April sun on the snow. Under the snow and in the trees, there was new life. The he-wolf left the cave and followed the ice bed of the small river. He wanted food. But 8 hours later, he came back, hungrier than before. In the wet snow, he was slow and could not catch anything. Strange sounds came from inside the cave. When he looked inside, the she-wolf snarled at him. He moved away and slept at the mouth of the cave. The next morning, he saw 5 strange little animals next to the she-wolf. They made weak little noises, but their eyes were not open. He left the cave quickly. He had to find food for the she-wolf. This time, when he took meat back to her, she did not snarl at him. 4 of the cubs were red, but 1 was gray. This gray cub was a fighter. He fought his brothers and sisters more than they fought him. He always wanted to leave the cave, and his mother had to stop him. Then, after a time, there was no food. His father did not bring them any meat, and his mother had no milk. The cubs cried, but then they slept. When the gray cub woke up, he found he only had 1 sister. The other cubs were dead. His sister slept all the time. Then the fire of life in her died too. Later, the cub's father died. The she-wolf knew this because she found his body in the woods. Near his dead body lived a large wildcat. The she-wolf found the wildcat's cave, but she did not go inside it. The wildcat was in there with her babies, and she was dangerous. One day, the cub left the cave and began to walk. He hurt his feet, and he ran into things. He often fell, but he learned quickly. In the woods, he found a very young, thin, yellow animal. He turned it over with his foot, and it made a strange noise. Suddenly, its mother jumped on him and bit his neck. Then she took her baby into the trees. The cub sat down and made weak little noises. He was there when the mother animal came back. He saw her long, thin body and long, thin head. She came nearer and nearer, and then she bit his neck again. He snarled and tried to fight. But the mother animal fought hard. She wanted to kill him. Suddenly, the she-wolf ran through the trees and caught the mother animal between her teeth. Her mouth closed on the long yellow body. Then she and the cub ate the animal. After that, the cub went out every day and killed for food. Then one day, the she-wolf brought home a baby wildcat. The cub ate it and fell asleep in the cave next to his mother. He woke when she snarled loudly. The mother wildcat was at the mouth of the cave. She snarled angrily, and the hair on the cub's back stood up. Because the mouth of the cave was small, the wildcat had to come in on her stomach. She and the she-wolf fought hard. The cub fought too and bit the wildcat's leg. She hit him hard, but he did not stop fighting. The mother wildcat was at the mouth of the cave. In the end, he and his mother killed the wildcat. But after that, she did not move. For a week, she only left the cave for water. But at the end of the week, she could look for meat again. For some time, the cub could not walk very well, but then he began to look for meat with his mother. He was not afraid of small animals now. He could fight with his mother and kill a large animal. He liked killing other animals. He also liked eating, running, fighting, and sleeping. He liked the life in his body. He was happy in his world. Chapter 2. White Fang. The cub ran to the small river. He was heavy with sleep, and he wanted to drink. He did not look around him carefully. Suddenly, he saw them under the trees. 5 big animals sat in front of him. They did not snarl or show their teeth. They looked at him and did not move. They were dangerous, but the gray cub could not move. He felt very weak and small next to them. One of them got up and came to him. When he put his hand near the cub's hair stood up. He showed his little fangs. The man laughed and said, "Wabam wabiska ip pitta, look, the white fangs." The other men laughed loudly. The first man put his hand near the cub again. This time the cub bit it. The man hit him on the head. The cub fell and then cried. The men laughed again. Then the cub heard something. The Indians heard it too. The cub's mother ran to him and snarled loudly at the men. "Kitch," said one of the men. "Kitch!" The cub's mother stopped snarling and lay down on the ground. Why? The cub did not understand. His mother fought everything. The man came to her. He put his hand on her head, but she did not bite him. The other men put their hands on her head, and she did not bite them. The men made noises with their mouths. "It is not strange," one man said. "Her father was a wolf and her mother was a dog." "She ran away last year, Gray Beaver, do you remember?" said a second man. "Yes, she ran to the wolves because we could find no meat for the dogs." He put his hand on the cub. The cub snarled, and the hand quickly hit him. The cub closed his mouth. Then the man stroked the cub's back and behind his ears. "His father is a wolf," said the man. "His fangs are white, so his name will be White Fang. He is my dog because Kitch was my dead brother's dog." The men made more mouth noises. Then Gray Beaver cut some wood from a tree. He tied Kitch to it with some leather. Then he tied the stick to a small tree. After a time, about 40 men, women, and children and many dogs came through the trees. The people and dogs carried heavy bags. A small boy took Kitch's stick and walked away with her. White Fang followed her. "Look, the White Fangs." They walked by the small river for a time. Then they came to the large Mackenzie paver, and the Indians made their camp next to it. White Fang walked around the camp and looked at everything. A young dog walked slowly to him. This dog, Lip Lip, did not like other dogs, and he bit White Fang badly again and again, so White Fang ran back to his mother. This was the first of many fights with Lip Lip. 5 minutes later, White Fang left Kitch and looked around the camp again. He saw Gray Beaver and went to him. Gray Beaver sat on the ground near a lot of sticks. Women and children brought Gray Beaver more sticks. Then a strange thing came up from the sticks on the ground. It was the color of the sun. White Fang went near it, and suddenly his nose hurt. He jumped away fast and cried. Gray Beaver and the others laughed loudly. White Fang ran back to his mother and lay down next to her. His nose hurt, and he wanted to go back to the woods. He watched the men in the camp. They were large and strong, and they made fire. They were gods to him. One of the Indians, 3 Eagles, planned a trip up the Mackenzie River. Before he left, Gray Beaver gave him Kitch. So one morning, 3 Eagles took Kitch onto his boat. The boat started to move up the river. White Fang jumped into the water and swam after it. He did not listen to the angry shouts of Gray Beaver. He wanted his mother. Gray Beaver followed him in his boat. He caught White Fang's neck and pulled him angrily out of the water. He hit him hard, again and again. White Fang snarled at him angrily. Gray Beaver hit him faster and harder. Then White Fang felt very afraid. He stopped snarling. He caught White Fang's neck and pulled him angrily out of the water. Gray Beaver stopped hitting him. He threw him into the bottom of the boat and kicked him hard. White Fang suddenly is angry again and bit Gray Beaver's foot. This time Gray Beaver was really angry. He hit White Fang very hard for a long time. Again he threw him to the bottom of the boat, and again he kicked him angrily. This time White Fang did not bite him. Later, in the night, White Fang remembered his mother and felt sad. He cried loudly, and Gray Beaver hit him again. After that, he only cried quietly when the gods were near. But sometimes in the woods he cried loudly again. He stayed in the camp and waited for his mother. He was not too sad. Life in the camp was interesting because the gods did many strange things. But the young dog Lip Lip hated him and often started fights with him. The other young dogs followed Lip Lip and started fights with White Fang too. These fights taught him some important lessons. He learned to stay on his feet in a fight. He also learned to hurt a dog very badly in a very short time. He learned to push the dog off his feet and to bite his neck. He learned these lessons because he wanted to live. He had to be faster, more intelligent, and more dangerous than the other dogs. One day, he killed a dog in a fight. The Indians saw him and were angry with him. After that, they did not want him near them. They shouted at him angrily when they saw him. This life turned White Fang into a very angry, dangerous animal. He learned only about hate. Nobody gave him any love, so he did not learn about that. 2. The future tense. Use the future tense for things that have not happened yet, but are going to happen. Use the verbs shall and will as helping verbs or auxiliary verbs to form the future tense. 1. We shall play a game of chess after lunch. 2. You will be sick if you eat too much. 3. I hope it won't rain tomorrow. 4. Sharon is ill. She will not be at the party. 5. You will enjoy visiting New Zealand. 6. Dad will be back for dinner. 7. He will make lots of friends at his new school. 8. I will do my homework after dinner. 9. I will miss you when you leave. 10. We will take the dog for a walk later. 11. We will visit Grandma this weekend. 12. He will be home later. 13. She will help us cook the food for the party. 14. It will soon be dark outside. 15. I think it will be sunny tomorrow. 16. I expect they will give you a present. 17. Mom will be very pleased with you. 18. Your plant will die without water. 19. The school will soon need a lot of repairs. 20. Banta and will be glad when the exams are over. 3. Picture dictionary page.